Hello. In today's video we are going to be creating this sphere with these cat strides on it, and this definition contains two patterns of strides. One of them is straight lines as shown here, and the other one is the random strides. As you can see here, this is like a cat ball, and also it contains an opening inside. So it depends on your preferences. How much do you want this opening to be, the size. You can also change the radius of the opening. You can change the location of the opening. You can change the number of the strides. You can change the size of the sphere. All of it is parameterized. So we are going to be creating that definition here, and everything is connected. So let's do it for now. Let's go and start the definition. Let me open a new file, and first thing first, let's create a sphere inside Grasshopper. In order to create a sphere, you can double click and type sphere, and that's the sphere you want to create. It's just a simple sphere inside Grasshopper. The base is the 000 point. The radius, you can give whatever radius you want. You can bring a number slider, or you can double click here and you type whatever number you want, and the number slider will show up. For me, I'm going to put the radius to be 10, and that 10 refers to the 10 units here inside Rhino. So because my Rhino now is in millimeters, so this 10 refers to 10 millimeters inside Rhino. So now we have created the sphere. Now let's go ahead and create the subtraction sphere, which is also going to be a sphere. And we want this sphere to be, now it's located inside the other sphere, but we want to move it to the surface of that sphere. So what we do is we populate geometry, and we want to populate our geometry with only one count. And now we have this position for the sphere, and that's going to be the base of the sphere, and let's give it a radius of 5. So that's the second sphere we have here. Next, let's slice them up. So we go, if we go to transform, and then if we go to beer up slice, because this is a beer up and this is a beer up, so what we want to do is we want to slice both of them. So let me just arrange a little bit. Alright, that's the first beer up, and that's the second beer up. Now we have the cutting area. That's the cut between two beer ups here, as you can see. And then let's slice it using surface split. With this surface split, we want to cut our surface, which is this sphere here, with the cutting curve, and the cutting curve is this curve we have just created here. Now we have this sphere cut. Now we have both of them are split. Now for us to see the split, we want a list item, and let's see, that's the first piece. Let's hide this one. That's the first piece, and if we put a number slider here and we see the second part, that's the second part here. So this is the void that you want to create inside the sphere. So let's go back to our original sphere here, and let's work with that one. Now let's create some points on the sphere in order to create the strides on it. So let's populate it again with populate geometry. What that one does is it populates points, random points on the surface of your geometry. So whatever geometry you have is going to create random points on the surface of that geometry. So our geometry is that voided sphere, and let's populate these points on it. And the count, we can put whatever count you want. Doesn't really matter. What we want to make sure is the count are multiplications of 3. So let's do multiply. The reason is because we want to create circles from these points, and we want to create circle 3 points. So for us to make sure that all the points are included inside our 3-point circles, we want the count to be a multiplication of 3. So here we put whatever number we want. For example, we put like 100, and if you multiply 100 by 3, that's going to be 300, and that's a multiplication of 3, which is okay. Now we feed this into count. Now we have a list that contains a number that's divided by 3. Now we have this list of these points. Alright, now the second goal is to create a circle 3 points. If you type in circle, and you will find circle 3 points. So what we want to do is, now we have all of this collection of these points here, which is a number of 300 points. Now we want to divide them into a list of 3 points, and in order to do that, there is a function here that's called partitional list. So what that one does is it divides your list into whatever number you want. So now we have one list, which is these points, and you want to divide them into 3 parts. So this is going to create 3 equal lists of these points. So now we have 3 lists inside this list chunk here. 3 chunks of list. That's 1, which contains 3 points, that's 2, and that's 3, and so on. So these 3 points are going to be used to create one circle. These 3 points are going to be used to create one circle, and so on. So let's do that. In order to get to each one of these points, we are going to use list item, and inside list item, now we have 3 points inside this item, and in the list item you can only get to the first point of each list, of each chunk. So now inside the list item we can get to the point that's indexed 0, because it's index 0. In order to get to index 1 and index 2, you have to zoom in to list item, and you can see the plus sign here, and with the plus sign now we can get to list item 1, and then we go plus and we get to list item 2. Now we have all of the 3 points inside this list item. Now we simply connect them to the circle 3 point. Now that's point A, point B, and then point 3. Now as you can see, we have created this cat ball kind of pattern. Alright, now afterward let's hide these unnecessary menus. Now we can see we have created our 4 ball. Now our second goal is to remove these lines or these stripes from the voided circle, the surface sphere, the one we had created before. So in order to do that, we wanna use the intersection, the curve intersect, which, let's go curve intersect. we go to transform, and you can see here it's called curve intersect. What it needs is it needs curve A and curve B. Curve A we have already created, which is this curve here, and this is going to be the first geometry, and that's going to be the curve B. Now we have the intersection between the sphere curve and between these lines. Now as we have the intersection, now what we want to do is we want to cut or trim these curves alongside when they are intersecting at this point. We want to cut them, split them, and then we want to remove these lines here. So in order to do that, we want to go shutter. What that one does is going to split a curve in a specific point. So the curves we have are these curves, and then the curves we have are these curves here, and then the pattern we want to find where is the pattern at, and we need to be this way. As you can see here, we don't need this item here. What we do is just hide this one here. Now what we can see is we have this ball or this sphere where these curves cut from, and you can navigate to the sliced part of the curve or to the remaining piece of the curves. Now this is the first pattern we created, and you can increase the volume, the number of the curves here. Let's increase it to like 200 maximum, and then let's double click and say 150 points, and now you can see the curves increased. You can even change the seed here. We can set it to like 5, and you can change the pattern of the points. Now after that, what we do is we want to create a straight lines around the sphere. So in order to do that, there is a command called contour. So let's type in contour here. Here's the contour. What we want to do is we want to contour the sliced sphere, which is that sphere here, and then let's hide this one, and then the point that we wanna start from is the center of this sphere. So let's go in order to find the center of the sphere. There is a command called area, and that area gives you the area of the surface and also gives you the centroid, which is basically the center of the point, which is in our case is the 0, point. So that's going to be the point, and the direction of the circles or the ripples that comes out of the circle are going to be directed toward this sphere here. So in order to create a replica, a ripple that is going throughout the sphere that's directed toward this sphere here, we need to create a vector to point, and the first point is going to be from the center of the sphere to the center of the smaller sphere. So in order to find the center of the smaller sphere, we use the same command that's called area. That's the center of the first sphere and the center of the second sphere, and we just connect, and then that's the vector that's coming from the first point to the second point, and we simply connect this here, and that's going to be the direction. The only thing remaining is the distance. So you can set the distance to any number you want. For example, let's put it to 3, and now you can see there facing this sphere here. Let's set it to like 1 to get more circles. Alright, now what we do is we wanna convert these lines, the straight lines and the random lines, into pipes or 3D geometries. In order to do that, we go pipe, and then we go the curves are these curves, and then the radius we can set it to something like 0.1, and then we can see the result showing up here. Alright, I guess they might be open, so you can use cup hole, or here are the cups actually. You can right click and you can say round cup or flat cup. In case you don't have this cup here, you can always use cup holes here, and that because some 3D like 2D to 3D converting components, they don't have this option with them, so you need a separate component that's called cup holes. But in the pipes they already have the built-in options for you. That's good. So you simply can use whatever you prefer, and then we want to create the same pipes for the straight lines also, and we give them the same radius. Now we have both of them created. Now let's bake the first group, let's bake the second group, and then let's bake the sphere also, I guess. Yes. Now let's go to render. Let me hide these guys here since we don't need them, and then let's go here and I should have created separated groups, and this is going to be change object layers, and then we hide and we go to these circles here and we go change object layers, and then we hide again, and now we have our sphere here, the whole sphere, and then we can have the straight line pattern on it, and also we can have the random kind of cat ball spheres on it. Alright, so I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you faced any problems, or if you have any other interesting kind of patterns that you want me to create. I can help you with. Alright, if you need the definition, I can share the definition also with you guys. So enjoy and have a good day.